Hello, good morning, everybody. This is Adrian, the CEO and founder of Career Agility International, and my
You haven't
co-host.
had coffee. You haven't had coffee. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone today?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not happy because it's Friday and it's the end of the school holidays.
It was a very short school holiday,
Such a short
unfortunately.
holiday. I barely had time to spend with the kids. And,
Well, but you know what? There's another big one coming up
when?
in the end of the year, so you
Right,
gotta wait.
so it's exam season. So all the best to all the parents and the kids who have exams.
Which also means that if you have kids, you have exactly 2 more days, 2.5 more days to make it up and spend time with them if you've been negligent, like me. Okay, so make the most use of your holidays. But everyone, once again, welcome to our Career Success Show. Very happy to have you here. We've been running this show for the past
few years,
and it's been so exciting. You know, one thing that a lot of people have asked us is,
Yeah.
How do you come up with all these topics every other day? It's like so many topics.
There are so many topics because a lot of people with unique issues,
Yeah.
and we love sharing. I guess the main purpose is if you are listening in, and a little bit of our advice solves your problems.
Yeah.
We're happy for you.
Yeah.
We're really happy for
And
you.
in fact, if you have any other topics you'd like us to cover, just do let us know. And for those of our listeners on Spotify, welcome. Very happy to have you here. Do subscribe, and I'm hoping you'll find our sessions both educational and enjoyable. Today's topic we're going to run is about 5 career limiting moves and how to avoid them. Now,
We've been talking to a number of individuals who have faced triggers at work. And some of these triggers are out of their control. And some of them have been brewing for a while with potentially a blind spot.
Yeah.
And we want to raise some of these blind spots because not entirely obvious.
it is true. As the name suggests, blind spots are areas where you can't see, but everyone else sees. And sometimes people are just too nice to tell you.
Exactly. And one of the feedback that I found really difficult to give is hygiene feedback. I mean, feedback to someone who may potentially be wearing too much perfume.
That's a nice hygiene feedback to give.
Or
things like halitosis and body odor, those are the ones that are a bit tougher to give.
Really difficult to give feedback on. And you cannot comment on a colleague's messy desk. You shouldn't.
Yes and no, but once again, that's what we're going to talk about. So anyway, if no one's commenting about your stuff today, we're going to comment and see whether you're guilty of any of these 5 career limiting moves. The first one I want to share with you is this. Let me plug that up.
Yeah.
I think losing your cool at the office.
Oh yes, that's a big one.
If you, on one hand, get angry and raise your voice, or yell at the client, or yell at your boss.
Don't yell at your boss.
Yeah, I think that's bad. On the other hand, is crying.
Stealing. No.
Crying.
Oh, crying. I heard crime.
No, crime. No, you don't do crime in the office.
That's definitely career limiting. If you steal something and you get caught, good luck.
Yeah.
But crying. So tears.
So notice if you
tears are a
steal and
no-no.
you don't get caught, it's okay. But anyway.
I didn't say that. So tears are a no-no.
I think tears are a no-no as well, especially if you're a grown-ass guy who's... and I've seen before, okay? But once again, I think any outburst of emotion just shows the leadership team and the people around you that you're not in control. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to cry or to get an emotional outburst, but if you have to do it in private, right?
Yeah, I think emotional outbursts are very dangerous because people who know why you are having a breakdown, maybe they'll understand. But then beyond that, there'll be people who will see that behavior and go, gosh, that's an overreaction.
Yeah.
And they're going like, gosh, what a minute thing, and you're having this massive overreaction. So because they don't have all the information. So whether or not you're justified, regardless, it's just not a good look. And there's this word that we all don't like using, but the word is optics. So what are you conveying and what are you portraying? And if you're telling the world that I'm not in control of my emotions, then how can I trust you to manage your KPIs, right?
That's true. And that's why, one of the things you need to do is be in control of your emotions. Okay, if you're angry,
Breathing techniques. inhale, exhale, exhale,
No,
exhale.
it's what I always say. There's a stimulus and response. We
Yeah.
humans can put some space in between.
That's right.
Okay, and even when it comes to writing emails, when I get an angry something an
yeah,
email that
yeah.
comes in that really elicits a very negative guttural response.
Don't write an email when you're angry.
Yeah,
It's not healthy.
yeah,
And so leave it until it dies a natural death and forget.
or you
forget to
or you
respond.
sleep over it. Okay, go out, take a walk, come back, and formulate it, and
And then have someone proofread it for you.
yeah,
I check my emails with you all the time.
yes.
Like, Adrian, does this sound okay? Does this sound too salty?
Yeah,
I think it's nice to have someone sort of kind of proofread it,
Yes.
because you don't know the tone that you're projecting.
Or the one, if you don't have someone to proofread it, let a calmer you tomorrow proofread it rather than. Okay, you'll be surprised how effective it is. So
Yes.
be mindful.
Don't
be careful
lose your
about
cool. Yeah, number one, don't
it.
lose your cool.
Number two is I think being a doctor no. What's a doctor
Yeah,
no?
a doctor no is someone who goes, no.
Can you do this for me?
No, cannot. And then I'll go into great detail why I cannot do this for you and explain about the limitations of all the compliance bits and pieces.
Yeah. And it's like
Very
I'm
unpleasant.
just asking you whether you can do this.
Yeah.
So, and at one of our previous offices, we had this manager. Everything will be no. Can I do this? No.
But it wasn't just no, it was a why cannot in great detail.
And it was not just a
And that
not
would
just
be difficult.
And it's not just no. It's a no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Anything you ask will be no.
Yeah.
So after a while, we just got fed up of asking her.
I mean,
and we just skipped her.
we're not suggesting to our listeners out there, we're not suggesting that you be a doormat either, as in everything yes, because that would be dangerous as well. Because if you say yes to everything, you end up pleasing no one. So
But
there's
this is
a
not.
fine line.
But this doesn't really talk about all the time about someone asking you to do something. Sometimes an idea. So when I was running my own business in 3 businesses ago, we hired this BD manager, and while I was ideating, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that.
Yeah.
She was just in the back of the room doing this.
Yeah. An unpleasant wet blanket.
Yeah. Don't. We are ideating, and instead of being a wet blanket and saying no to everything,
Add to the ideas.
add to the ideas.
Yeah. Create some room for brainstorming.
And if you don't agree, then why you don't agree and how you can make it better,
Exactly. Don't just say no
and let it hang there.
and let it hang.
Yeah.
You should say no and then possibly come up with something better. Because if you cannot come up with something better, then maybe you should just not say anything.
Especially if the idea is coming from the boss and you're going no.
I guess what we're saying is not to be overly disagreeable in the office.
Or overly negative. Don't be a negative Nelly or negative Nelson or whichever gender you want to use for in this instance. Don't be a negative person, because
Yes.
no one likes hanging around a negative person.
Yeah.
Likewise, don't be a Pollyanna as well, who says yes to everything, high energy is like yes. So I think it's all about balance. But if you are coming across as no all the time, it is gonna be no fun.
A quick tip: if you do say no, do not continue with but. So it's a no but.
No but.
No but, and use the word as an interjection. It becomes very even if you're just interjecting, saying no to someone is just negative. So watch your language as well. When you want to interject, don't say no. Say, I have an idea, or an interjection that is a little bit more positive.
That's a great idea, however.
Yeah.
It sounds better
hear
than a no.
you.
I hear you.
I understand where you're coming from.
I think 1 or 2 no is okay, but if you keep going on no, after a while it just gets very tiring.
Or when you say 1 no is enough and you end up with 5
yes,
no's.
and then you become Dr. No. Okay.
That's not a very good nickname.
Yeah,
in the
it's a
office.
bad reputation to have.
Yeah.
Being sloppy and or careless in the work that you do. I'm not talking about knocking over stuff, because I knock over stuff all the time.
Yeah, he does.
In fact, one of my old officers, when someone spills coffee on the table, they say,
It's probably Adrian.
Yeah, and not only that, if it's not me, they go, you just did an Adrian. So
Or if you walk into walls and you stub your toe, it happens as well. But anyway, no. What are we talking about here? It's a very real issue. If you are tasked or you're given the responsibility of, say, carrying around some company secrets, a price book or something, or your laptop, company laptop, you need to guard it well and you need to take precautions. I mean, if you were robbed at knife point, that's a different story.
That's a different story.
But if you left it unattended, that's carelessness.
Your entire price list at a customer's place.
And can you imagine, it's not just a customer, what if the competitors get access to your price book, or you accidentally left something, your laptop unattended at the restaurant, you forgot to take it with you.
Or you CC the email or you forward the email and you forget to delete all the other confidential trail at the back.
That has happened. That has happened.
So,
that's sloppiness.
So things like this. It can really happen. It happened to one of my friends actually. So they were talking. They were talking bad stuff about the boss to each other, and then because they were negotiating pricing. So, don't think the idiot will accept this pricing. And this idiot won't. And then he forgot to delete it. And it was passed on to the boss for approval, and then the boss went, okay, career limiting move. Okay.
I think if they weren't caught, it's okay. But the fact that the boss had time to go through the email trail is an indication that the boss is indeed whatever they call the boss.
Yeah.
However,
he didn't. So
the point is that the boss got caught. The boss called it out, right?
Yeah. So it was quite funny. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny at the time for them.
No.
So
I've heard many other similar stories. It's just not healthy. In fact, the individual that used the F words and F bombs to refer to said boss, different story, different time, was shown the door. She was shown the door. That was not pleasant. So sloppiness and carelessness can be career limiting. What we're trying to say here is that there are so many contexts, there's so many examples, and if you're not aware of them, sometimes they can come back and bite you.
Yeah, and I think, especially when it comes to emails or proposals, I tend to double check, triple check on the things that matter. For instance, especially when I template proposals.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
I change.
Someone
delete,
else's name.
Yeah, I cancel out the name. I make sure I do a proper find replace. Okay, things like this can
be very dangerous.
Very dangerous and very embarrassing. Even attaching the wrong file.
Yeah, touching the wrong file or emailing the wrong agent, because there are multiple agents in the company, for instance. And then I got a lot of
agent emails before. Yeah. Adrian Cole and Adrian, all these guys. I've been receiving your emails, so just be careful about it. Okay. So being sloppy or being careless, I think it's
borderline negligent, and sometimes it is terminatable.
You could be fired for it. So just be extra careful. I think this one is also to be mindful of poor executive presence.
This is something I started the morning with, right? We talk about feedback. If I'm the manager and I had to give feedback to a team member who smells particularly ripe after lunch,
or before lunch, or even when you turn up for work,
it's a very difficult feedback to give. I found it to be very challenging because it's too personal. But if you pay attention to your hygiene, I think that's important. So again,
that's one. But even just being dressed up sloppily for work, or your credibility.
Dressing.
Yeah, your credibility is called in question, I think. So dress up. Even if you're on Zoom, work from home, and you're wearing that
please don't turn up for Zoom calls
looking
with a
pajamas
with holes.
Or even the background if it's a messy bedroom.
But that's another thing that leads to this executive presence question, and we've had many other podcasts about this. Go listen to some of our previous podcasts around turning on your Zoom camera, and maybe a lot of people are still in their pajamas and they want to keep their cameras off, which is fine, but then you don't get a chance to exert your presence. You don't get a chance to show that you are a contributing member of the team.
Yes.
Because when people keep the cameras off, they are perceived as not contributing to the conversation.
Yeah. So executive presence is basically what the image which you portray to other people to increase your credibility to your bosses, to your colleagues, and even to your staff. And if you're not portraying a level of seniority or seriousness, they're not going to take you seriously.
Yeah, and therein lies this image that we have here on the slide. It's a messy table, isn't it?
It looks like mine. Isn't it my desk? No, I think it's neater than the one I have right now.
It is much. I mean, you can see. I guess a method to the madness.
I call it random access.
Okay.
So it's a mess, but it's my mess. I know what went where, and that's why whenever my wife cleans up or tells me to clean up, she tries to help. She cleans up my desk. Everything suddenly I can't find anything at all.
I commiserate with her.
Yeah.
So but back to the office. If you have all your things exposed, your company secrets, your I don't know, your salary slip, your 3-4 cups of coffee with crusty rim because you've not washed it.
Are you referring to
I
me?
mean there are things that can show that the table is being used, but then there are also things that can indicate that you are careless and sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing about showing that the table has been used. Another thing to show that the table has been lived at. So, it's like use tissue paper.
We don't want that. Yeah. We don't want OT bags.
But I've always said this. When my first job in Shell, my boss actually told me, he said, a clean desk shows clarity of thought.
Yeah.
A messy desk shows the way you're thinking, and it leaves a very poor impression to senior managers walking by.
Exactly. And so if you are someone who needs to have your things on, there must be a method to the madness at a certain degree of, I guess, I don't know, a workflow. And so my husband, for instance, has lots of post-it notes all over the table. It's messy at first look, but you can see there's a system.
No, you should help him by reorganizing it by color. Watch him explode like, what you've done? I alphabetically rearrange it for you.
Unfortunately, all the post-its are yellow, and then everything's all over the place, right? So I'm not talking about the used tissue paper, and that's problem, right? It's a problem if there's crumbs in your keyboard. It's a problem if you have old cups from way back when and unwashed. But yeah, I'm being nitpicky here. I'm trying not to let my OCD show. But executive presence is more than just what you wear. It's also how you talk,
how you present yourself, whether you're sloppy, unshaven,
right? And how you write your email. It's
a whole bundle. Yeah, if you really, and one of the things I'm going to be very contentious here. I think one of the areas where we Asians sometimes tend to neglect is our executive presence, because we do take things for granted, or we are so genuine to each other, and we go like, what does the outward appearance matter? It's the heart that matters. It's the
seriously, the weather here is so hot anyway. Who wears a jacket? It's okay.
So we need to be extra mindful about your executive presence, especially when you have the non-Asians who a lot of times it comes second nature to them. So we have to be very mindful about how we present ourselves and how it matters in terms of your promotion.
Yeah, it does.
So and
we're not trying to be all judgy here, but we should be put together.
Yeah, I'm very judgy. I used to be very sloppy. In my early days in headhunting when I was at Boyden, and my boss pulled me aside and he said, if you want to score the $1 million deals, you got to dress like $1 million so that people trust you for it.
When I landed my first job, I had a mentor. She sat me down and she pointed out it's really extreme, nth degree, from head to toe, of all the things that she expects to be a put together professional. So I was very fortunate to have had that advice. Okay. But in my younger days, I looked at her and I went, gosh, this woman is mad. I mean, it was very extreme, nth degree, including nail care, everything.
And now, with the wisdom of age, now that we are older, we see the logic.
We see the logic. Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that it's good advice.
Yeah, it's good advice. Yeah. And one of the final things you want to talk about is not being pro boss.
Yes.
It's a bit related to being a Dr. No.
Yes.
But even in terms of water cooler talk.
Yes.
Sometimes you get a colleague go, hey, what do you think of this boss's new initiative?
Yeah.
And then you go like, well, not his best idea so far. And then she goes back to the boss. Yes. He just said that you're stupid.
Yeah, can you imagine? I think that's just.
And it happens. It happens a lot.
It does.
I think you should always be seen, no matter what, at least optics wise.
Neutral positive.
Neutral positive.
Yeah. There's a reason why that person is your leader, and regardless of how we really think about our leader, we have to toe a certain political correctness. Yeah. And I think that's important.
And I learned this as well in one of my earlier companies. There was a very unpopular initiative being rolled out. Okay, and the initiative was called SAP. Okay, they had to roll out the whole program and everything. Painful. It was stupid. It was so painful. And as much as my boss hated it, whenever anyone asked him, what do you think of it? Oh no, it's a great initiative. No, it's a progress forward. It's our next big move. It's going to give you such strategic advantage. And when the guy goes away, he says under his breath to me, bloody bleep, 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 idiots. Okay.
It's painful, but we all know why it needs to happen. It's a growing pain.
You got to toe the party line.
But it's also necessary because when an ERP heart transplant happens, everyone hurts.
Yeah.
But once we're healed, the scars are done.
Yeah.
The business can grow. Otherwise, there's no scale. Yeah, I mean,
true. But I mean, that's just one example. I mean, there are other stupid.
There are other stupid ones. There are many.
But you have to
yeah.
keep your like what my dad always said. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Just sit down.
I think that's
and shut
good
up.
advice. Yes.
So but it helps to be pro boss. Okay, and I think because ultimately whatever you say and do circles back.
Yeah.
And if you are not careful about it, if you confide in the wrong person,
that's going to be something that is going to come back
and bite you in the butt.
It's going to come back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but we're not asking you to suck up, right? We're not asking.
Why
you
not?
to be,
Why not? Can lah.
Okay. Let's not.
Boss, you look so pretty today,
okay,
boss.
That's a problem. I think that's overly.
Wow, that's the best idea I've heard in my entire life, boss.
That's a new word I learned. Obsequious. I can't pronounce
Obsequious.
it. I can't. Oh, that's good.
Obsequious.
Good job.
Obsequious.
Don't suck up too obviously, because then you get another nickname and not a good one.
Yeah, Mr. Brown Noser.
But what we do want is somebody who is going to be supportive. Leaders need to know that you have drank from the Kool-Aid and are going to be part of the team.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that you have to be overly enthusiastic either, but maybe don't be overly negative.
Like what you say, that neutral positive is best.
Neutral positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be careful who you confide in.
Yes. You never know.
Lunchtime talk.
But you know who's the best people to confide in actually if you have problems?
The career strategist?
Yeah, come talk to us, okay?
You're safe.
So yeah, you're gonna be safe. Okay, so come talk to us, okay? If you have in terms of your salary negotiations, if you're having workplace challenges, or if you're looking for a new job, come talk to us. We have been extremely successful. Last month was extremely busy. We had a bumper crop of clients coming in who needed our help.
A lot of workshops as well.
Yeah, a lot of workshops. If you're facing a career challenge right now or a career conundrum, trying to solve it, unwind it.
I will help you with your vocabulary. I'll help you with your narratives.
We'll give you a different perspective.
We have thesaurus.com on standby, how to euphemize negative stories.
Yeah, she's the thesaurus.
So we don't say things like I'm a great problem solver. No, I embrace challenges.
I cause challenges. So I challenge my organization all the time by giving them a lot of challenges.
Yeah. Anyway.
If you have any questions,
the week.
Yep, just drop us a note. We are at info@careeragility.org. But one of the coolest things is that you may not need the entire 3-month program or 6-month programs that we run. If you just want to clarify, we run career clinics as well. You can just drop us a note. We have very good solutions for you. Just drop us an email, info@careeragility.org, and have a great weekend ahead, everybody. Bye.